to 5-Minute Fridays. I am just about to start my 5-minute workout for today. All I'm using today is one dumbbell, but if you don't have a dumbbell, that's fine. You can absolutely still do this workout right along with me because I will be providing equipment-free substitutions and beginner modifications. You're also going to be more comfortable with something soft beneath you, so grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel should probably suffice. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, you can go ahead and use the chapter markers to do that. But if you would like to see the exercises demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. So first of all, let me begin by telling you that this is a 10-pound dumbbell. I'm telling you that for reference and for reference only. This weight works well for me. You may need to use something lighter than that or heavier than that. That depends on you. That depends on your strength. It depends on your level of fitness. It depends on what you have available to you. And of course, how hard you're looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weight and make the decision that is best for you. If you don't have a dumbbell, a kettlebell will also work. And if you don't have any fitness equipment whatsoever, look for household items that you can use. Pretty much anything will work as long as you can find something that you're able to maintain a secure grip on. So you're not going to drop it on yourself and injure yourself. You're not going to break something or make a mess. And as long as it's not too heavy for you. So a water bottle or a shampoo bottle or something like that would be ideal. You could fill it with water. That's probably the easiest, but you might be able to make it a little bit heavier if you fill it with something like uncooked rice or dried beans or kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, or those little decorative pebbles. Just get creative and use what you've got. If you have absolutely nothing that is going to work for weight, that's fine. Or if you just don't want to add weight to your workout, I will be providing equipment-free substitutions, impact, and beginner modifications. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to begin by showing you the more advanced versions of the exercises. And then after I've shown you those, I'll go back and show you your beginner / equipment-free / impact modifications. But really there are just 3 exercises. So we're starting with a side lunge and then a knee up and an overhead press. So beginning with the side lunge, anytime you're doing a lunge, you want to start by tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets. That means your shoulders are back and down. Back meaning that you want to kind of pinch your shoulder blades together, and down meaning away from the ears. So not up here, push your shoulders down, push them back, okay? Visualize tucking your shoulder blades into your back pockets. That's also going to help you keep your chest lifted nice and high. That's what we want. Make sure you keep this sensation of your chest feeling lifted throughout the duration of the exercise. Then you're going to step to the side. So if you're starting with your feet more or less together, you're going to step one foot out to the side. And as you do that, you're going to bend the knee of your lunging leg. Push your booty back. So visualize trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. At the same time, remember you're keeping your chest lifted nice and high. So think about also trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest so that your spine is elongated and your back stays flat. The weight is staying in the heel of this lunging foot. What we're trying to avoid is a rounded back. So tuck those shoulder blades into the back pockets. Lift the chest, push the booty back. Back is flat, spine is elongated. The weight is in the heel of this lunging foot. All right, then you're going to press this heel into the ground, straighten the leg, and bring your feet together. Now, I am not going to be stepping my feet together. I am going to be bringing my knee up, driving my knee up towards my chest. If that's too difficult, you can do your side lunge, step the feet together, and then drive the knee up. That's up to you, or you can eliminate driving the knee up altogether. If you're struggling with your balance, modify, okay? Do what works for you. But I'm going to be lunging to the side, and then from here, I'm going to press my heel into the ground, and I'm going to drive this knee straight up towards my chest. And then I'm going to go right into my next rep. So the goal is to keep this foot off the ground the whole time, except for when you're down in your lunge. Okay, so press the heel into the ground, drive that knee up, and then right into your next rep. So I'm going to be holding on to one dumbbell while I do this. And I'm going to be adding a row and an overhead press. So I'm going to hold my dumbbell on the same side as my lunging leg. So dumbbells here, this is my standing leg. This leg stays planted as the dumbbell comes with me for the lunge. And then as I'm down in my lunge, I'm going to do a row. So I'm going to bend my elbow and row the weight, bringing the weight up towards the shoulder on the same side. And then I'm going to straighten my elbow again, and then press my heel into the ground, stand, and then I'm going to do a hammer curl and an overhead press. So when I say hammer curl, think of the way you would swing a hammer. That is the grip you have on your dumbbell. So from here, my standing position, my palm is facing the outside of my leg. The back of my hand is facing that wall, and that's the position I'm going to have my dumbbell in the entire time. So my palm is always going to be facing me. The outside of my hand is always facing this wall, all right? So lunge, row the weight, drive that knee up, curl the dumbbell up to your shoulder, and press the weight up overhead. Then bring the dumbbell back down to your shoulder with control, right into your next rep. So taking this foot that's elevated, stepping to the side, lunge out, row the weight, drive the knee up, curl the weight, press it up overhead. All right, that is my first exercise. So obviously we need to do that on both sides. I'm staying on one leg the entire time and my dumbbell staying in the same hand the entire time. So we'll spend one interval working that side, and then we'll switch and we'll do our next interval working the other side. So you're going to pick up your dumbbell with the opposite hand, move to the opposite side of your workout space, step out to the opposite side and lunge, row the weight, drive the knee up, curl the weight, press the weight up overhead. Lunge, row, knee up, overhead press. All right, so that is our first exercise, or first two exercises, however you want to look at it. For the next exercise, I'm just using my dumbbell as a target. I'm going to stand with my dumbbell right in front of me, facing this way, so that it's not pointing towards you, it's this way, kind of sideways in front of me, all right? And then I'm just going to tap one toe on one end of the dumbbell, and I'm going to jump and switch the feet. So I'm going to jump and tap the opposite foot on the other end of the dumbbell. Super simple, just tapping your toes on either side of the dumbbell. All right, so obviously you don't need to use the dumbbell for this. If you want to use a higher target, you could use a plyo box or a chair or a park bench, your coffee table, the arm of your couch, it doesn't matter. And if you don't want to use a target, you can just do high knees, that's fine. But that's my second or third exercise. It'll be our third interval, let's say that. So our first two intervals are going to be our side lunge combo, first on one side, then on the other. That's our third interval. So for our final two intervals, again, we're going to do the same exercise, once on one side and once on the other side. So I'm coming down onto my mat. I'm going to be doing sit-ups. I'm going to add an overhead press, and then we're going to do a bridge. So I'm going to start down here on my mat with my knees bent and my feet flat on the mat. My weight is up here by my shoulder. Now I'm only holding onto the weight with one hand, but I always like to take this free hand and just kind of steady the weight a little bit. I'm not using this hand to assist me, but it's a good idea, especially as we're coming down, to just kind of use this hand to kind of spot yourself a little bit. So I'm going to sit up. As I sit up, I'm going to press my weight up overhead, and then from here I'm going to take this free hand, I'm going to set it down behind my shoulder on the same side, and now I'm going to press into the mat with this hand and with my heels. I'm going to keep my weight pressed up overhead the entire time, press into the mat, lift my hips up as high as I can, and squeeze my glutes at the top. And then I'm going to reverse the movement. Lower the hips back down with control. Pick up this hand. And then again, I'm going to just kind of spot myself, placing my free hand on my dumbbell, just to kind of help me guide it down, but I'm not using this hand. I'm sitting back down, and as I do that, I'm bringing the weight back down to my shoulder, returning to my starting position. So that was a lot, I know. Let me walk you through a couple more. So just before you do your sit-up, make sure that you're tilting your pelvis forward so that you are kind of pressing your low back into the mat. So if I'm lying here relaxed, there is naturally a curve to my low spine, and that means that there's a space between my low back and the mat. I can actually slide my hand right underneath here. Do you see that? So we want to get rid of that. Tilt your pelvis forward, pressing that low back into the mat so that nothing can get in there, all right? Then you're going to sit up, press the weight up overhead. Keep it here, super tough, I know, do your best. Take this free hand, place it behind you, press into the mat with your palm and with your heels. Drive those hips up, squeezing the glutes on at the top, control the movement on the way down. Pick up this hand, and as you sit back down, the weight comes back down to your shoulder. You can use your free hand to kind of spot yourself. Let's do a couple more a little faster, pressing that low back into the mat. Sit up, press the weight up overhead, lift the hips, squeeze the glutes, control the movement on the way down, and return to your starting position. Sit up, bridge, and back down. All right, so staying on the same side the entire time, and then with our fifth and final work interval, we will switch and do that same exercise on the other side, and that's it. That's our 5 minutes. So that's the more advanced version of the workout. For the beginner slash impact-free slash equipment-free version of the workout, we're obviously not going to be using a dumbbell. But remember that if you don't have a dumbbell, you can very easily just use a shampoo bottle or a water bottle or anything really for weight, as long as it is something that you can use safely, again, something you can maintain a secure grip on and it's not too heavy for you. But let's start again at the top, and I'll show you your beginner modifications. So for the first exercise, obviously we're going to eliminate the overhead press, since you're not holding on to anything. There's nothing to press up overhead. So really you can do any side lunge variation you want. Again, just mind your form, so shoulders back and down, chest is lifted high, push the booty back, keeping the weight in the heel of your lunging leg, keeping your back flat, okay? So stepping to the side, push that booty back, keep your back flat. Okay, don't allow your back to round, tuck the shoulder blades into the back pocket, chest is lifted high. And then from here, you're going to press your heel into the ground and return to your starting position. Now, if you are able to do the knee up from there, great, do it. Step to the side, drive that knee up. Step, drive the knee up, all right? If you can do the knee up, but it's too difficult to not kind of reset first, then just do your side lunge. Step the feet back together and then drive your knee up. That's fine. Step to the side and lunge, step it back, bring that knee up. And I'm adding like a little oblique twist because why not, all right? We're eliminating the overhead press. So let's add a little oblique twist, get those obliques just a little bit. So as I'm driving that knee up, I'm twisting my body thoracically and bringing my opposite elbow to meet the knee, all right? Lunge, and then either drive the knee up and go right into your next rep. If that's too difficult, lunge, step the foot back, drive the knee up, and add that little oblique crunch. Side lunge, knee up, all right? That is your beginner modification and your equipment-free modification. If that is still too difficult, you can hold on to a chair for support. You can eliminate the knee up and just work on your side lunges, holding onto a chair for support. So please remember that if the beginner modifications that I am showing you are still too advanced for you, I'm always here to help. So please just ask, because I promise that we can find a modification that will work for you. But I think that most people should be able to handle something that looks kind of like that. All right, some kind of side lunge variation. So we'll do that first on one side, then on the other side. That's our first 2 intervals. For our third interval, that's where I was doing my toe taps on the dumbbell. So you can just do high knees. That's fine if you don't have a dumbbell. Again, remember, you can also use something else as a target, like a milk crate or a cinder block or a plyo box. The higher your target, the more difficult this exercise will be. My target is very low today, so just pick something that works for you. You don't need to actually have a target though. You really can just do high knees. So just driving one knee at a time up towards your chest. It's like you're running in place, but just with each step, you're driving your knee up as high towards your chest as you possibly can. Now that's difficult to sustain for 50 seconds. So you might just prefer to do this, just jog in place. You can always start doing high knees, and then if it gets too taxing and you cannot maintain this for the full 50-second interval, you can come down here and just start jogging in place. That's fine. All right, so that's your equipment-free substitution for the third interval. If you need an impact-free modification, just march. You can add the little oblique twist if you want, or not. But just, it's the same exercise. You're driving one knee at a time up as high towards your chest as you can, but instead of jumping to switch the legs, you're putting one foot down before you lift up the other foot, okay? Just march in place, that's fine. All right, so the final 2 exercises are sit-ups. It's the same exercise, but once on one side and then once on the other side. So again, if you're not holding on to a weight, you're going to eliminate this press up. So instead of doing a sit up, what I'm going to do, well, first of all, you know what you can do? You could just sit up and reach. So instead of pressing the weight up overhead, you can just reach your arms up. Then take one hand, put it behind you, and you can still do this bridge pose. And now, since we're not holding on to a heavy weight, if you want, you can arch your back and try to reach the mat with your free hand. That's fine. You could do something like that if that's not too advanced for you. Stay on the same side the entire time. So sit up and reach, hand goes behind, press your palm into the mat, press your heels into the mat, drive your hips up as high as you can, squeeze those glutes at the top, arch your back and reach, and then reverse the movement, controlling your hips on the way down. So don't just let your hips drop down, right? Just control the movement on the way down. Pick up this free hand, reach, and then come back down. Sit up and reach. Bridge pose. Return to your starting position. Same side. Sit up, bridge, and down. All right, so you could do that. If that is too advanced, then I'm going to recommend this. It's going to look a bit different, but it's kind of hitting all the same things, just at a more beginner level. So we're going to do a single leg glute bridge raise plus a toe touch. This is an exercise I do all the time. I actually really like it. So again, just make sure that you are tilting your pelvis forward, pressing that low back into the mat. You're going to straighten one knee, and then with the foot that's flat on the mat, you're going to have your arms down to your side. Press into the mat with your palms, press into the mat with this heel, lift your hips up as high as you can, and then again, control the movement on the way down. So don't just let your hips drop down, all right? Push the hips up as high as you can. Squeeze those glutes at the top. Control the movement as you come down, and then keeping this leg elevated the whole time, you're going to crunch and touch your toes with the opposite hand. So it's kind of a crunch, single leg toe touch. I think that's what I call it. All right, so staying on the same leg the entire time. So next rep, glute bridge raise, toe tap. Now, if the single leg glute bridge raise is too difficult, you can do the glute bridge raise with both feet flat on the mat. Just press your heels into the mat, lift your hips as high as you possibly can, squeeze your glutes at the top, control the movement on the way down, and then you can add your single leg toe touch, so straighten one leg, tap the toes with the opposite hand, and then you can put the foot back down. Okay, if it's too difficult to do the glute bridge raise on one foot. You can have both feet flat on the mat for your glute bridge raise. And then lift that leg, come up and touch the toes with the opposite hand. All right, so I think most everyone can probably manage that. But again, if that's still too advanced for you, I promise I will be more than happy to help you find a modification that works for you. But that's it. That's all 3 exercises or 5 exercises, depending on how you want to look at it. Now, here's the format. Very simple format. We're on 10-second rest intervals and 50-second work intervals times 5 rounds. That's our 5 minutes. So you're just going to go through that little circuit once. That's it. You're going to do, we'll start with our 10-second rest interval, then we're going to do 50 seconds of our side lunge combo on one leg, rest for 10 seconds, then we'll switch and do our side lunge combo on the other leg, rest for 10 seconds. And then for that middle interval, we will do our toe taps / high knees, march, jogging in place, whatever you're doing for that middle interval. And then for our final 2 intervals, we will do our ab and glute combo. So 50 seconds on one side, rest for 10, 50 seconds on the other side, and that's it. That's our 5 minutes. That's the workout. Super simple. Hopefully that is all clear. Please remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and I'm going to do both versions of the workout right along with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how everything fits together, if you have any questions about any of the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or impact-free modifications or beginner modifications, beyond what I have already provided, please remember that I am always here to help, so ask questions if you have them. It's extremely important that you understand the movement. You have to understand what you are asking your body to do. So please make sure that you really understand how to do the exercises with the proper form before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. We're just doing each exercise for 50 seconds, and that's it. So it's only a 5-minute workout. We have to really, really get the most we can out of this 5 minutes, and you do that by executing your reps cleanly. All right, so we're on intervals. The goal is to complete as many reps of each exercise as you can during each 50-second work interval, but with good form. So you don't want to race through the exercises. If you start racing just to go as fast as you can to say you got a great score and you completed so many reps, listen, if you can do that without losing anything off of your form, great. But if you find that you're getting sloppy, that means you need to slow down. It is always preferable to do fewer reps with excellent form than to do lots and lots of reps with bad form. All right, I don't want anyone getting hurt, and this workout is short, so we want it to be as effective as possible, and we also want to be safe. So please make sure that you're minding your form and do not sacrifice your form for speed. Make sure that you are working to your own level. So that means choosing a dumbbell that is the appropriate weight for you, or a household item, making sure that whatever you choose for your weight is not too heavy for you. That means modifying the exercises as needed. So if you started with weight, the weight becomes too heavy, put it down, switch to the body weight version of the exercises that I just showed you. That means pausing to rest if you need to. Of course, the goal is to only rest during our 10-second rest intervals and to not rest at all during our 50-second work intervals. But please do not push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. If you need to rest, you should rest, okay? It is fine to pause during a work interval and take a few breaths. Keep the rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need. You should only resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina so that you can continue with good form. All right, and you guys know that it is also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. So I'm always here to help facilitate that. If you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications or impact-free modifications beyond what I have already provided, I am right here to help. So please just ask. Hopefully I have covered everything. If you are ready to go ahead and begin the workout, make sure that you have something soft beneath you. So grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, maybe grab a towel, grab a dumbbell or a kettlebell if you have one. If you don't have a dumbbell or a kettlebell, grab a household item like a water bottle or a shampoo bottle filled with some sort of weight. If you are adding weight to the workout, that is. Remember, if you don't want to add weight to the workout, you have your equipment-free substitutions. So grab whatever equipment you need and then pause the video. Meet me right back here. We're going to start with a quick 5-minute warm-up, and then we will do the beginner slash equipment-free slash impact-free version of the workout together. And then if you want to stick around and try the more advanced version of the workout with me, we'll do that next. And then afterwards, we'll do just a quick little cool down, about 5 minutes to cool down after the workout, and that's it. So pause the video, get dressed, meet me right back here, and we'll get warmed up, and then we'll get right into our beginner version of the workout first. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm up. You're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. You're not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You're just resting your hand on top of your head. Your arms should be completely relaxed. You're just allowing gravity to do all the work of gently stretching the other side of your neck, switching sides. So allow your head to fall towards the opposite side. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Just using the weight of your arm to gently stretch the other side of your neck. So make sure your arm is relaxed and make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Don't let your shoulders creep up by your ears. Shoulders should be back and down. Next, we're going to do head rolls. So just allowing your chin to fall towards your chest and then towards the opposite shoulder and back. And each time you roll your head from one shoulder to the other, just start feeling your head getting heavier and heavier, allowing your range of motion to increase until your entire torso is just kind of falling in front of you. Now we're going to do shoulder rolls. So just rolling your shoulders to the back, or you can roll them to the front, it really doesn't matter. The point is just that you want to make your circles really big. So exaggerate the movement, really make sure you're exploring your full range of motion. Next, we're doing arm circles. So extend your arms out to the side. Start by making small circles, again, either to the back or towards the front, it doesn't matter. But gradually, as the interval progresses, you want to start making those circles bigger and bigger until finally you're making your circles as big as you possibly can. Really explore your full range of motion. Now step the feet out so that they're a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Bend the knees, sweeping the hands down in front of you. And as you straighten your knees, you're stretching up, reaching up as high as you can. Each time you bend your knees, expanding your range of motion a little bit more, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted right where they are. We're going to lunge side to side, nice and easy, adding the arms. So now with each lunge, I'm just reaching across my body. You should feel like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Next, we're going to march in place. So step the feet in and just march. Knees are low to start, but gradually you want to start driving your knees up, higher and higher towards your chest, until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. Now we're just going to jog in place. Again, knees are low to start, but gradually you can start driving your knees up towards your chest, a little higher, until again, you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Next is booty kicks. So still just a nice light jog, but now with each step, I'm bringing my heel up behind me, trying to really kick myself in the booty cheek with my heel. Now for this next one, you may need to hold on to a chair or the wall for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips. Transfer your weight into one foot, pick up the other foot, and now just swing the leg front and back. Nice and loose, waking up those hip flexors. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you'll put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the other foot, and swing the leg front and back. You can start low, and then gradually you can start increasing your range of motion, swinging that leg higher and higher. We're going to switch legs again, so put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the other foot, extend the leg out in front of you, and then bring the leg around and behind, making a little semicircle, lifting your leg higher and higher each time, and then finally drive the knee up. Use your hand to guide it around for a hip circle. Other side. So extending one leg out in front of you, bringing the leg around and behind, lifting that leg higher and higher each time, and for the last two, driving the knee up towards the chest, using your hand to guide it around for a hip circle, finishing up with a quick hamstring stretch. I'm using this post to assist me getting into this stretch because I want to keep my back as flat as possible here, and using the wall or a chair or something like that can just make it a little bit more comfortable, a little bit easier to get into this stretch while keeping a flat back. But that's it. That's our little 5-minute warm up. So let's go ahead and get right into this beginner version of the workout. No equipment required, but you will be more comfortable with something soft beneath you. So grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If not, maybe a towel. All right, so as soon as you're ready, here we go. I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. This is a 10-second rest interval, just so that we have a few seconds to get ready and we don't lose anything off of our first 50-second work interval. We're starting with side lunges, so you're going to step to the side and lunge. Now press your heel into the ground as you straighten the leg and bring your feet back together. If you want, and you feel that you're ready, you can drive that knee up. Do a little oblique twist, twisting your body thoracically and tapping your opposite elbow to the knee. And if you want to challenge yourself even a little more, you can go straight from your lunge into that knee up, right into the next rep. So lunge, knee up. If that's too difficult for you, if you're struggling to maintain your balance, just reset. Lunge, bring the feet back together, and then drive that knee up, twist, and bring opposite elbow to meet the knee. 10 seconds to rest. Now we're going to do that same exercise on the other side. So lunging with the opposite foot. Bring the feet back together. Make sure you're keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in your heel as you sink down into that lunge. Now if you want, drive that knee up and add that little oblique twist, bringing your opposite elbow to meet your knee. If you want to take it up a notch, you're going to go straight from your side lunge into your knee up, really driving that knee up as high as you can towards your chest. Take a second to find your balance here and then right into the next rep. If that's too difficult, just reset. Lunge and reset. Adding that knee up if you want. If not, you can skip it. 10 seconds to rest. Now this is our little cardio section. So if you want, you can just jog in place, and that's absolutely fine. If you can't jog in place because you have downstairs neighbors or something and you need to keep it impact free, just march. But really drive those knees up as high as you can towards your chest. And if you want to make it a little bit more intense, you can do high knees. So same exercise, but not impact free. So just do what works for you. If you want to do high knees, but it starts to get too intense, doing it for 50 seconds, just come back down to a nice light jog or switch to your impact-free version and just march in place. That's absolutely fine. All right, finishing up down on the mat with abs and glutes. So knees bent, feet flat on the mat. Press your heels into the mat, lift your hips up, squeeze the glutes at the top. Now, straighten one leg, sit up, tap the toes with the hands on the opposite side. Glute bridge raise, sit up and toe tap. Squeeze the glutes, control the movement on the way down. If you want to make it a little bit more difficult, keep this leg elevated the entire time. One leg glute bridge raise, sit up and tap the toes with the opposite hand. Lift the hips and tap the toes. If that is too difficult for you, just keep both feet flat on the mat. It's absolutely fine. All right, 10 seconds to rest. Finishing up, this is our 5th and final work interval. We're finishing up with the same exercise on the other side. So glute bridge raise. Now lift the opposite leg, sit up and tap the toes with the opposite hand. Again, just make sure every aspect of the movement is under control. Lift the hips, squeeze the glutes, and now don't just allow your hips to drop down. Make sure you're controlling the movement as you lower your hips back down to the mat. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, keep this leg elevated the entire time. One leg, glute bridge raise, single leg toe tap. If not, both feet flat on the mat is absolutely fine. And that's it. That's our 5 minutes, we did it. Nicely done, but we are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do a beginner bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So you're going to start by standing in the middle of your mat. You're going to bend down and place your hands flat on the mat in front of you, then step your feet back so that you are in a plank position. Now knees down for a push-up if you want to include a push-up. You can eliminate the push-up if you prefer. Step the feet back in and stand. Reach up, come up onto your toes for a calf raise if you can, and if you want, you can add a little jump. All right, so with that, our beginner / impact-free, equipment-free version of the workout is now complete. If that's all you're doing today, great. Use the chapter markers to skip ahead to the cool down. Do a quick cool down with me before you do your stretching, and then you can go ahead and have your shower and eat some lunch and get on with the rest of your day. But if you would like to continue on with me, if you did that version of the workout with me, but you feel like maybe you want to try the more advanced version, maybe you want to try to add a little bit of weight, then go ahead and grab some sort of weight, either a dumbbell or a kettlebell or maybe a household item like a water bottle or a shampoo bottle or something like that. And then let's go ahead and get into our more advanced version of the workout. So as soon as you're ready, let's go ahead and get into this weighted version of the workout. We're on 10-second rest intervals, 50-second work intervals times 5 rounds. That's our 5 minutes. As soon as you're ready, here we go, starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. This is our 10-second rest interval. So pick up your weight. You're starting with a side lunge. So you're going to step out with the foot that's on the same side as your dumbbell. Sink down into your lunge. Now row the weight. Press this heel into the ground. Drive the knee up. Curl the weight. Press it up overhead. Now right into your next lunge. So step to the side and lunge. Row the weight. Drive the knee up. Hammer curl. Overhead press. Lunge, row, hammer curl, overhead press. So the goal is to never allow this foot to touch the ground except for when you're down here in your lunge. But it is really challenging, so if you find that you're struggling with your balance and you need to tap that foot down to check your balance, obviously you should do that. Same exercise on the other side. So switching sides for me is always really difficult. It takes my body a minute to like adjust to balancing on the other side. Plus this side is harder for me. So just do your best. But same exercise, so just holding the weight in the opposite hand, stepping out with the opposite foot, sink down into your lunge, row the weight. Press that heel into the ground and drive the knee straight up in front of you. Curl the weight, press it up overhead, and make sure you're controlling the movement. All right, so next, I'm just gonna place my weight in front of me, just using it as a target, and I'm just going to tap my toes on either side of the dumbbell. Super simple, but also super difficult to maintain for a 50-second work interval. So just do your best. You can also just jog in place or do high knees if you want to use something higher up off the ground for your target. It's fine, you can use a plyo box or a chair or a park bench, anything really, but you don't really need a target. Just jogging in place or doing high knees is fine. All right, down onto the mat. Going to do a sit up with an overhead press and then a bridge pose. So sit up, press the weight up overhead. Now place your free hand behind you, press into the mat, lift the hips, squeeze the glutes, control the movement on the way down. And then you're bringing the weight back down to your shoulder and reversing the movement. Just using my free hand to kind of spot myself as I lower that weight back down. But this hand is not actually doing any work. All right, rest for 10. Switch hands. This is our final work interval, so let's push. Holding the weight by the opposite shoulder. Sit up. Press the weight up overhead. Free hand comes behind. Press the heels into the mat. Press your palm into the mat. Lift your hips up as high as you can. Squeeze the glutes. Control the movement on the way down. And then you're bringing the weight back down to your shoulder with control. Using your free hand to spot you. As you sit back down, return to your starting position. Sit up, press up, bridge, and back down. One more. And that's it. That's our 5 minutes. We did it. Nicely done. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together. Then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially officially complete, so let's just do a quick cool down together. Even though that was a super short workout, you still just want to give yourself a couple of minutes to allow your breathing to normalize and let your heart rate come back down. And you want to just keep moving while you do that, kind of keep the circulation going. So just shake out the arms, shake out the legs. You can kind of pace around a little bit. Let's do a quick shoulder stretch. So just bringing one arm across your body, use your other arm to pull it in really, really close to your chest. Make sure that your straight arm is completely relaxed so that your shoulder can relax. You're not going to be able to get the benefit of stretching your shoulder if your shoulder is all tense and hunched up by your ear. So relax the arm, relax the shoulder, and really feel that stretch. Make sure you're focusing on slowing down your breathing. Shake it out. Let's get the other shoulder. So bringing the opposite arm across your body and use your other arm to pull it in close to your chest. I always just kind of shift my weight from foot to foot. Because like I said, you want to just keep moving while you do this, but you can just kind of shake out the legs, or again, you can pace back and forth, whatever works for you. But you want to keep moving and you want to keep focusing on slowing down your breathing. So if you're breathing shallow up here, what I want you to do is really visualize allowing your diaphragm to drop down and making space all around your torso. So think of breathing down into your belly button. Feel your rib cage expand and fill up your entire torso with air, and then use your diaphragm to push the air out. All right, so as we are doing this little bit of light stretching, make sure that you're continuing to move and continuing to focus on slowing down your breathing. Let's do a quick tricep stretch. So you're going to bend one elbow, place your hand on your elbow, and just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. So as you're doing this, pay attention to your free hand. You want these fingers pointing straight down at the ground. You do not want this hand hanging out up here somewhere by your shoulder. Fingers pointing straight down at the ground. Pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder and really feel that stretch in your triceps. One more breath here. And then shake it out. Let's get the other side. So bending the opposite arm. Place your hand on the elbow and just gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Fingers are pointing straight down at the ground. Long, slow, deep, controlled breaths. And keep moving. Again, I said this earlier, but there was a plane going over, so I don't know if you heard me. I always just kind of shift my weight from foot to foot. But if you prefer to pace, you can do that, or you can just kind of shake out the legs. That's fine. All right, let's finish up with a quick quad stretch. So if you struggle with balance, you can hold on to the wall or a chair. You're going to bend one knee, bring the foot behind you, reach back, and grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands, and then press your heel into your booty cheek. As you're doing that, you want to tilt your pelvis forward. So kind of tucking your booty underneath you, and imagine trying to touch your spine with your belly button. As you do that, you're continuing to press your heel into your booty cheek. Really press it in there, tilting that pelvis forward at the same time. As soon as you combine both of those two elements, you're instantly going to feel that stretch intensify in your quad muscles as you isolate them more effectively, but you're also going to feel the stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. So let's do the same stretch on the other side, bending the other knee, bring the foot behind you, reach back, grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands, press your heel into your booty cheek, and tilt your pelvis forward. So tucking your booty underneath you, sucking your belly button back towards your spine, and as you do that, you're continuing to press this heel into your booty cheek. Feel that stretch, intensifying your quad muscles, and feel it extend all the way up to your hip flexors. Couple more deep breaths here. and come out of it. And one last time, shake out the legs, shake out the arms, and that's it. That's our little cool down. If you feel that you're still breathing heavily, your heart rate is still elevated, just take a couple more minutes to do a little bit more light stretching. That's great. Move around a little bit more. Just remember that this little bit of light stretching that we do during the cool down does not take the place of a proper stretching routine. It's still really important to make sure that you're taking a good 15-20 minutes if you can every day to stretch. Immediately after the workout is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm from the workout. But if you don't have time to stretch now, that's fine. It doesn't matter when you get your stretching done, just as long as you're doing it. Just remember that if you do put off your stretching until later on in the day, that your muscles will have gotten cold again. So you're going to have to take a few minutes to warm them back up before jumping into your stretching routine. Please don't ever jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles. Your muscles need to be warm in order for them to be pliable so that you can stretch them safely and effectively. So please make sure that you're doing your stretching every day, but please make sure that you are doing it safely. If this is all you're doing today, fantastic. It is always better to do something than nothing. So if all you're doing today is this quick 5-minute workout, that's great. It's better to do this 5 minutes than not to do this 5 minutes. So thank you for joining me. But remember that these little 5-minute workouts also make a great warm-up for a longer, more intense workout or for a long cardio session. I like to use them as a warm-up for a long cardio session. So I'll do one of these little 5-minute workouts before I take a long, tough hike. Today, I'm going to be doing 30 minutes of interval jump rope. So I have Rebecca here. Rebecca is my adorable black jump rope with these cute little white skulls on the handles. I'm going to set my timer for 60 rounds of 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals. That's 30 minutes. I'm gonna get some music going and I'm gonna do 30 minutes of interval jump rope. So if you have a jump rope, great. If you have an exercise bike or a treadmill, great. I think it's a great idea to just tack on like 20-30 minutes or more of additional cardio after one of these quick little 5-minute workouts if you have time. Of course, you could also go for a run or a hike or a swim or a bike ride or something like that, or even just a brisk walk. It's not mandatory or anything. If you don't have time to do it, you got your 5 minutes done, you can be done for the day. But I just want you to keep in mind that some of these 5-minute workouts make a great finisher. So if you just finished a workout, but you feel like you want more of a burnout for your arms, for example. We did a workout, I think 2 or 3 Fridays ago, that was just all upper body, arms, chest. Would make a great finisher. So there are always different ways that you can kind of incorporate these little 5-minute workouts into your workout regimen, into your weekly routine. So just keep that in mind and let me know in the comments how you incorporate these 5-minute workouts into your routine. If this is all you did today, please let me know. But if you used it as a warm-up for something else, or if you used it as a finisher, I would love to know about that too. But that's it. That's all I have for you today. So I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did this little 5-minute workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Let me know which version of the workout you did, or did you do both versions with me? Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you are not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything is unclear with the format of today's workout, if you have any questions about the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions, beginner modifications, impact-free modifications beyond what I have already provided, I am right here to help. So please just ask. If you enjoy these little 5-minute workouts and you would like to see more of them, please remember that I have an entire playlist of 5-minute workouts on my channel. I will link it right there, and we will be continuing to do these 5-minute Fridays every week for the foreseeable future. So that means that I will be continuing to bring you at least one new 5-minute workout a week, every week for the foreseeable future. That is going to do it for today. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and I will see you all right back here on Monday. Bye.